In this tutorial, we're going to solve for the stock price of a non-constant growth stock. We're going to go through a stock price example, but the same technique applies when using free cash flow to find the value of a firm. So here's our sample problem. ABC Company just paid a $2.50 dividend. The stock is expected to grow at non-constant abnormal rates for 3 years and then stabilize at 6% growth forever. We can't use the constant growth formula for obvious reasons. We can use the general formula for the non-constant growth portion and then use the constant growth formula after the growth stabilizes. The first step is to set up the given data on a timeline. Show the expected growth rates above the appropriate period and the required return above the period line. Step 2, calculate the dividends for periods 1 through 4 using the given growth rates and add them to the timeline. Step 2A, now that we have the dividends, here's how we're going to use our basic formulas to find the value of ABC stock. We'll use the general formula for the non-constant growth dividends for periods 1 to 3. Then we'll use D4 to find P3, the price at time 3. Putting these together, we have a combined formula for this problem. Step 3, discount dividends 1 through 3 to time 0 using the required return of 8% as the discount rate. Step 4, use D4 to compute the price at time 3 using the constant growth formula. D4, the first constant growth dividend, is used only to find P3. Using the constant growth model, P3 incorporates the value of D4 and all the dividends beyond that. Step 5, discount the price at time 3 back to time 0. Remember, this is P3, so it's discounted back 3 periods. This is where most of the errors occur in solving non-constant growth problem. Confusion about using D3, D4, and P3. Step 6, sum the discounted dividends 1 to 3 and the discounted price, and you get our stock price, $215.47. We can use the TI Business Analyst 2 cash flow worksheet or Excel to solve this problem, but you must set up the timeline first in order to have the values to enter in the worksheet or to use in the Excel function. Note that using either the TI or Excel, you must sum D3, dividend at time 3, and the price at time 3 to use as the cash flow at time 3. We've gone through the solution step by step. Now let's work all the way through the problem. On this blank template, let's work the example step by step. The dividend is $2.50. First year growth is 30%, 25, 20, constant is 6, and the required return is 8%. So we've got them all on the timeline. Now we want to calculate D1 through 4. So D1 is going to be D0 times 1 plus the growth rate. And we can copy that across. Then we want to use D4 to find P3, divided by the required return minus the constant growth rate. Our cash flows. At time 1, it's just dividend 1. At time 2, it's dividend 2. But at time 3, it's the price at times 3 plus the dividend at time 3. Discounting these back several ways, but we can do it manually. Divide this by 1 plus the required return, freeze that, raised to the period number. And we can copy that across. Our price is going to be the sum of those values, and $215.47 again. Finding a stock price for a non-constant growth stock is one of the more complicated calculations we cover in this course, and unfortunately it's one for which there's no calculator key or Excel function. It is, however, considered a fundamental skill needed by finance students. Hopefully, this step-by-step tutorial will give you something to review to get comfortable with the steps involved.